Hey, it's Kimberlee and welcome back to my channel. I make videos on all things lifestyle on a budget, and I'm going to share with you the two main reasons why you should not get the Sony ZV E10. There are two big features with this camera that are severely lacking, and now that I've had this camera for about a year, I want to share those with you to help you decide if this is going to be the camera for you. And now, as I said, this is a budget lifestyle channel, so I already spent my money. I'm sticking with this for the long run, but I just want to help you along if this is something that's very specific to you that I don't know that many people are pointing out. And I do want to say, previously when I did my original unboxing of this video, someone asked me a specific question about one of these features, and I thought I had the answer. I thought, it's not a big deal, I'm going to be able to fix it and carry on. But now that it's been over a year later, I really want to caution you in advance. So let's hop right into it. The first thing that is the biggest annoyance with the Sony ZV E10 is in fact the battery life. Last year, someone asked me about the battery life and I was like, no problemo. I've got some extra batteries because you should always buy some backup batteries when you get a new camera. And I thought I would be good to go. But after a year of using this camera, I want to say that the battery life is absolutely frustrating. When you get the camera, you do get one singular battery, and it's supposed to last about 80 minutes of filming before you'd have to charge it up or anything like that. Now, there is a feature with the Sony ZV E10 to where you can actually charge the base itself. When your camera battery does run out, there's a couple more minutes of filming that you can get done before the whole system shuts down. Great, that's cool, but if you are consistently filming and using a lot of that content, it's going to go out faster than you think. So 80 minutes I thought would be fine because whenever I am shooting something, I would say I shoot about 30 minutes on average of content, but what I was finding is that the singular battery that I would use, I would be able to shoot maybe one whole segment, so about 30 minutes of filming, and then the next time I came back to filming again, my camera battery would be down in the low percentages, and I wouldn't be able to get through another set of filming. So if it's going to be 30 and 30, that's 60 minutes. So it seems kind of strange that I couldn't get 60 minutes of filming over the course of 2 times using it. Like I said, I bought extra batteries, so when the battery does run out, I have to stop filming, take out that battery, charge it while I have the other battery and I can continue filming. This is a short-term solution, which is effective because now it's been a year later. But it is annoying to be in the middle of filming something and have to pause what you're doing, especially if you're in a process video. So maybe I'm shooting content that over the course of the time I'm going to do a time lapse and now I have to stop. So it is pretty frustrating that the battery cannot even hold 2 video segments. I would have thought I would at least be able to use my camera all the way through for at least 3 segments. Now there are other things that do affect this. I am using 4K. This is a 4K camera. And for a little bit, I actually sacrificed using 4K and I went down a little so that I could increase my battery life. And then I thought, what's the point of having this 4K camera and not using the 4K and instead just trying to appease the battery life? So I hopped up my resolution once again, and now I just use the multiple batteries like I said. I also want to share with you what I'm using to help with the batteries recharging. This is a battery recharger. It does make things much easier for me. It's from Power Extra. It's a dual USB charger, like I said. So you've got 2 spots for your batteries, and then this just plugs into a USB port and it goes into the wall, and it will let you know when the batteries are charged, etc. So with this came 2 batteries, which is great. So in total, I have 3 batteries. My simple solution does work. It's just the fact that I have to stop what I'm doing and switch out all the batteries and then continue. That does actually affect the timing of things, especially if whatever I'm filming is time sensitive. I think this is going to be a huge problem for many people. You know, you just want to like plug in and go. I've since realized how important battery life is to me. It would be nice to not always have to worry about charging one of the batteries so that I can continue filming. If you already have this camera, or if that is not something that's going to bother you as much, then definitely get something like this. You're not going to be able to survive off of just a kit battery, let me just say. I would be really impressed if there is someone out there that says the battery does last a pretty long time for them. Maybe it's short segment videos, which that's great for you, but for long format content, you're definitely going to need multiple batteries. I know battery life is a huge deal for some people. I remember when I was searching for a camera, that is something that I took into consideration. And in my head, I just thought, well, if I just get multiple batteries, it'll be fine. It won't be a nuisance. But I'm letting you know that it will become a nuisance. Battery life, major issue. Simple solution, get your backup batteries. Bigger solution is to maybe rethink getting the Sony ZV E10. What I will say at the very least is that the 4K is really great quality. It was something that I was hesitant on getting because I just think about how much space it takes up, et cetera, but it's really not that big of a bother. And I've also noticed when I put the content on YouTube, it just looks really crisp. So I'm no longer willing to sacrifice the 4K. It's a 4K camera. I'm gonna go ahead and use it, and I'll just have to keep switching the batteries out. Now, the next major feature, I feel like y'all are just gonna be like, so why did you get the camera? I was on a budget, and this is for the budget conscious consumer. So there were some things that I thought wouldn't necessarily be a huge deal. One that I really didn't pick up on, but as soon as I got it, I was shocked by it, is the sound. So currently I am using a mic. You can see that it's right here. I had to do a whole bunch of research on mics to find the best one that would work well with this camera that was wireless, but I knew I had to have a better sound because let me just show you. Okay, so here is what the camera sounds like without a mic. And in true New York City fashion, there are fire trucks going through, which I'm sure you can actually hear. And the difference is huge in comparison to when I'm wearing my mic and you can't necessarily hear it. You can hear it a little bit, but it's probably not as much as what you can hear right now. But I was truly blown away by how not strong this sound is when I first opened the camera and started using it. Of course, the closer I am to the camera, it sounds a little bit better. But again, for the Sony ZV E10, I was expecting something that was a little bit more concentrated, and that's not really what I'm getting. I know that some people get their cameras and it's just kind of a base. They immediately take off the lens and they go get another lens. They immediately change out all these features, etc. But if you're just going with the bare bones, you want to still have a good quality camera. And the fact that the sound is just not up to par is a huge deal breaker. I may have wanted to look a bit further had I realized how the sound would be. And if you saw my video last year, it was a whole big thing when I ended up getting this camera because the first time I got it, it was a used camera and I had bought a camera that was new, so I had to go back to Best Buy, show them the video of me realizing that the camera was already pre-opened, etc., and then get a new one. So I had already gone through a fiasco of confusion and finally getting what I believe now was a brand new camera. So to finally open it and to realize that the sound wasn't as strong, I just didn't think I was going to have it in me to go back to them and go back to square one and maybe look for a different camera. So I settled and I decided to use whatever features were available to me to make this better, and that involved researching for a good mic. I think it's safe to say that you've gotten the idea of what this sounds like. Let me put my mic back on so that you can hear me clearly. All right, so now I'm back with the microphone, and this is from the brand Tolan. The thing that's cool about this is that it has a rechargeable case and it comes with two mics and then the connector that goes into your camera. It can also go into your iPhone or things like that. It also has one of these wind covers for your mic. There's a plus. The mic battery lasts really long. I was probably using it for months before I actually needed to charge it. The downside is that I didn't know when I needed to charge it. It suddenly just wasn't working. So the times that I was putting it back in the case, I didn't know that the case needed to be charged. And I just want to say that mics are not cheap, so you'll have to get used to that. But that was another thing that I added on, which made me realize it's like, okay, well, if I thought about the mic prices, thought about the batteries that I had to buy, and then you add that to the total of the camera price, would that not have been enough for the next level or maybe a camera that was better off? I really needed something that was wireless because anything that was wired, the cord was just too short. And you were going to see it, or you actually may have seen it in some of my videos before I realized. I think I have like 3 or 4 mics right now before I got to the one that was good for me. And I actually really love this. Now that I know how to use it, now that I can make sure that it's on and working. It took a little bit of time originally because I'm just not used to mics, but I do like how crisp and clear it is when it's working properly and when I don't accidentally do that and brush over it. I also just want to point out the fact that my camera battery is currently on like less than 10%. And That was, again, about 30 minutes of filming. So annoying. So if I don't wrap this video up soon, I am going to have to change out the battery. The mic solution was something that just needed to happen ASAP. There was no way around it. There was no way I was going to be able to do this kind of video and then have all that atmospheric sound just kind of muffling what I was saying. And I gotta say, again, for such a decently high quality camera, that mic is not good. So those are two major issues that I think are strong enough reasons that you may not want to get the Sony ZV E10. Now, I still have it and I'm gonna keep with it because I bought it already and I've learned how to acclimate with it. If having to buy extra batteries or having to purchase a mic is going to be an inconvenience to you, then I don't think you should get the Sony ZV E10. If you were going to upgrade this camera anyway and you were going to get all these things, then maybe this camera is still for you. It is a good quality camera. It's just the fact that some major features are make or break. And had I known this truly and fully in advance, I may have actually chosen a different camera. I'm making it work, but it is glaringly obvious to me over and over when I have to take all these extra steps that this may not have been the camera that I should have gotten. Let's have a conversation down below. I'm really curious, were you interested in the Sony ZV E10? If you chose to get it or chose not to get it, let me know what swayed you and why. Was it the price? Was it the battery life? Was it the mic? Was it the quality of the camera, etc.? I'm really curious what else stood out to you now that I'm on the other side, because I watched a ton of videos and I feel like certain things didn't sway me enough, but I really wanted to highlight these two features because maybe if I had seen a video like this, I would have been like, you got to do more research. Or maybe they're not issues enough for you and you feel like the price of it is decent enough that you can make it work. If you have any specific questions about any other features, if I've used them, I'm happy to give an update or answer to you. I'm all about giving an honest review, so I'm happy to share these features that don't work just so people know what they're getting into if they are interested in the Sony ZV E10. Thank y'all as always for watching, and I will see you in the next one.